So we got to look at the idea of being sexually closed or open, and we have to look at female mating strategy. Okay. And so you got to understand that most of your rejections, particularly when your game is good, isn't because you are not somebody who's attractive to her. That's always the assumption. But that's actually not the case most of the time. Most of the time, she's just not sexually open. Like, you could be the most, exact, like the most attractive guy in the world, right? But if she's like just got, sex from the guy that she's been seeing casually before she went out, or, maybe she has plans on, her ex boyfriend or boyfriend or whoever it is picking her up later, all of your advances could be completely ignored. She's just, or maybe she's just in a bad mood. Has nothing to do with anything else. She's just in a bad mood, not in a good mood. Maybe her, ovulatory shift. She's more towards the lower end of her hormonal cycle, where versus the higher end, where there's those hormones and chemicals that would make her sexually aroused to want to be around you. And so she's just not that responsive, and she's more rejecting. It's just the way it is. The question about social media or whatever, you could be having a conversation with a girl who's responsive and you don't do anything, and she just shifts the other direction. And so this is why I always say, when you're out there, you're dating around, doing whatever, you can't take it seriously and you can't take it personally. Now, you do want to analyze your game, but that's from like, is what you're doing. Maybe you're doing something unattractive or whatever, but you're not going to get that information really so much from one woman or one source. If you talk to 10 girls and you're getting a similar response, okay, or if this is something that comes up a lot for you, there's probably something you're doing wrong. Because now, if we have a whole bunch of data points, well, we can say, okay, what it is, what is it that you're doing that's not exactly the right thing, that might be turning girls off. But like, if you're getting pretty good successes with a handful of girls, and then these girls, one off, two off, three off here, are just sort of disappearing, and then you go where she got the initial rejections, you just can't worry about that stuff, man. And so it's like, that has to be something that you don't care about, and that you just move on. And when somebody is like doing really well with women, and one of my, like, somebody that works with me in my mastermind program, or one of my programs, or someone I'm working, coaching, when they start to do well, it's interesting, especially when a guy's in a dry spell, or he just doesn't have a good game, or he's not doing well. I'll watch his focus shift. His focus shifts from, instead of, a guy who's not doing well will focus on all the losses, all of the times that he got rejected, and he over analyzes the rejection, and that's the topic of the conversation. Now, of course, you do want to analyze your behavior, your game, like an after action review, I would call it. It's the military term, kind of like reviewing game clips and plays after a game. Well, that couple plays didn't go well or whatever. You analyze the the video footage, and you see where you went wrong. Like, that's fine. But guys are focused on it more than that. Like, they don't just focus on, they go, oh, okay, well, I did this, I could have done that different. Cool. And then they move on from it. It's like they're really stuck on trying to figure out, one girl just didn't respond or wasn't as receptive. And that's not an abundance mindset, of course. It's a scarcity mindset. But of course, the guy's not doing so well. And that's, some of you guys aren't doing so well that listen to me yet anyway. And, some of you guys are just not, it feels that's where your focus goes. The focus on this is on the L's. And so you need to focus forward and focus on the new prospects and the potential successes. You can't care about these girls who didn't show interest or demonstrate interest, or ghosted or changed their mind or shifted, like, because women are a product of their emotions, right? And so their emotional state and how they're acting is usually up to things you have no control over whatsoever.